Hey guys, it's Dr. Lisa here coming to you from Tampa, Florida, where I am a triple board certified internal medicine physician leading everybody through the crazy pandemic of COVID-19. Just an update out of my almost 8,000 patients. So far, we have done antibody testing on approximately closer to 200, with only about 5 coming back positive, and that's just the Quest IgG test. Again, with regards to antibody testing, there are multiple tests that are available, IgM and IgG. The IgM can be a screen for more recent exposure, but the IgG is the one that we are more interested in because IgG is the longer term immunity. And what we're finding is that these numbers, at least in my practice, are not as high as we would think they would be. And I'm hearing that from colleagues around the country as well. When you look at people who have had classic symptomatology, and I can't tell you all day, every day, somebody coming in now, it's really interesting, telling me the story of, oh my God, back in February, I had a fever and then I couldn't breathe and then I had weird diarrhea or rash. So a lot of us, and including me, I had shared I had a high fever for a couple of days and I don't usually ever get the flu or get sick. A lot of us potentially did have some form of this virus, and we do think it's been around a lot longer than what we've been told. And we just, at this point, have to go as if it was the flu in terms of our own mental outlook on it. So as we go back into circulation, into connecting with friends and being around people, how do we handle ourselves in flu season, or if we know somebody is sick? So if we know somebody's sick, it's on that person to stay away. You know, if you're going to go somewhere and you know there's going to be some people at higher risk, please, if you don't feel good, you are the one that should be isolating. And I felt this way strongly from the beginning. In any other infectious outbreak, in any other day-to-day just common sense, it is the two people that should be social distancing or should be staying home and away and more conscientious. And those two people are those of you that are significantly immunocompromised. So I'm not talking about take a little side note off of the media that you're 20 pounds overweight and you're at higher risk. Let's get real. There are healthy people that are overweight. You know who you are. You eat clean, you try to exercise, you're taking care of yourself, your immune system is supported. And there are unhealthy people that are thin. So you need to take the responsibility of your own self-evaluation. So take a look at yourself and determine how high risk you are. Even in the age group, a healthy 70-year-old today is almost like a 50-year-old. We all know those people. I like to think of myself as like I'm in my 30s, even though I'm not. So take a look at where you are biologically, where you are in your own day-to-day, how healthy your lifestyle is, and then make the decision. So if you deem yourself to be super high risk, and clearly there are those of us out there, you know, those of you out there, maybe you're on steroids, maybe you have an immune condition, maybe, God forbid, you just had a cancer diagnosis, chemotherapy. Well, you need to be way more cautious and potentially continue a little more of the social distancing and the wiping down and all the other things that we've been told to do. But if you are, so that's the first population, sorry. The second is if you don't feel well. So yes, when we are looking around as connected citizens, and instead of putting rolling eyes or feeling uncomfortable because one person's wearing a mask and one person isn't, just take it upon yourself. If you don't feel well, if you have a fever, if you have a cough, if you've just been exposed to somebody sick, make those decisions yourself, and then you stay away as well. The rest of us who are feeling great, healthy, and instead our risk is way higher in terms of things like depression. And if you look at the suicide rates and domestic violence, finally this is coming out a little bit more mainstream. The amount of domestic violence, child abuse. I saw some 47% of people are starting to have to rely on government funds, some really high number. And I have to check that stat. I don't like to say things that I haven't researched, but it was high. So those things have now outweighed the risk of the virus. And I think, in my opinion, it probably has the entire time, but we're gonna regroup and we're gonna move forward. So what can you do this long, beautiful weekend? So I'm gonna give you some tools at this point. We know that we're dealing with an exciting but fearful time. People are being told they can get back into their mainstream lives slowly but surely. I want you to take a look at the restaurant tours, the hostess, if you decide to support a local restaurant, at the shopping mall, or stores, and just be kind. These people are being forced to wear masks and gloves, and they're uncomfortable, but they're thankful for their job. So you may not want to, but be respectful, be kind, know that it's coming from up above, not from them, it's corporate. And as long as we keep speaking, we keep demanding better science, we keep showing the other side to this pandemic, which is the people that are on unemployment, the like I said, child abuse, domestic violence, these things that have really risen in our ERs, and the ERs are sitting empty with no COVID cases, but these are the people that are coming in, and delayed surgeries. Let's say cardiac events, people have actually died, cardiac patients, because they haven't been able to get in to do procedures. I have a lot of patients who were scheduled for joint replacement. And yes, that's elective, but these are people who have been in pain and now they're having to stay on narcotics longer. So think about those types of things. And the tool for today, as you continue to raise awareness, is to try something like music. So I've always loved music. I'm a musician. I haven't played in a while, but I did play the oboe all the way through college. And the music is very meditative. There's actually a ton of research, and we're talking about any kind of music, from whatever makes you feel good. So from classical all the way to hard rock, if that's your thing. You can look up over 400 studies from even just one institution on its benefits on the brain. I think they had one, I was gonna quote one that was really, really interesting, and it was people who were about to undergo surgery, and they were assigned either music or anti-anxiety meds, and the music was better than the drugs. On lowering cortisol, better outcomes. So in this crazy time, how many of you have turned to music? I have been listening a little bit more. I like very upbeat, like kind of just pop, to be honest, occasional classical. So pull up some new songs, some new music. Everybody can share. Why don't you share below something that makes you feel good? And think about why music works at the cellular level. And also check out Masaru Emoto. He has done studies on water and shows crystals under a microscope, water looking like crystals. And he plays classical music, and then he plays really rough heavy metal. He says, I love you, and then he says, I hate you. And the impact on the crystalline nature of the water can be visualized. So I'll link some of those pictures below, but it's the same way that music works. It's the same way that our thoughts are impacting us as well. And it shows how connected we all are on a frequency level, just by breathing, just by being. Let's help shift this together, be kind to each other, do things that make you feel good. It's a nice long weekend. Hopefully, kids are getting out of school. There's a shift. So let's jump with this shift. I'm gonna be heading to the beach, my favorite place. So I will be posting some pics from there. And we'll end with an affirmation for this long weekend, which is, I control my frequency and my thoughts and fill them with love and light. I control my frequency and my thoughts and fill them with love and light. Find some new music, dance around a bit, be kind to everybody as we get back out there, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for being here. Have a great one. Bye for now.